What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the NASCAR news stories that I've not caught up to you guys in the last couple days. And there's some pretty big ones that we need to discuss. Let's just dive into it. So, the first story is going to cause a little bit of controversy. Donald Trump will be attending this year's Daytona 500. He will be only the second president in U.S. history to attend a Daytona 500. George W. Bush attended in 2004. And he is only the fourth president to attend a NASCAR race. Ronald Reagan attended the Firecracker 400 in 1984, and George H.W. Bush attended the 1992 July Daytona race. So, regardless of your opinions of this situation, politically, whether you're on the left or the right, I think this is a great move for NASCAR, because it's going to create some publicity, and more people are going to have their eyes on this race. It's probably going to help ratings because people are going to watch this race because the president is at the track. I understand that some of you do not like the president of the United States. I get that. That's fine. If you don't like the president of the United States, that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to share my political opinions with all y'all because I keep my opinions aside from the YouTube channel. But I think it's really cool that Donald Trump is coming to the race. It's good that the president is showing interest in our sport. Donald Trump has shown interest in this sport in the past. He has given us praise, back in 2018 when we had all that stuff going on. And Donald Trump I'm not going to say my opinions again, but Donald Trump is going to be attending the Daytona 500. It's a good thing for the sport. Now to the next story. Jimmie Johnson is interested in running some IndyCar races in 2021. He attended preseason testing for IndyCar at the Circuit of the Americas on Tuesday. He attended as a guest of McLaren's Zach Brown, who's the GM of McLaren. Here's what Jimmie Johnson had to say about running IndyCar possibly. At the end of last year, when I knew I was done with 38 races a year, I got so excited. I have a lot of things I want to try, including IndyCar and sports car racing in 2021, and now I can consider those as my bucket list. Also pretty interesting that he brought up sports car racing. I didn't know that he wanted to do more sports car racing. I knew he wanted to do Indy cars, but he wanted to also looks like he wants to do sports car racing as well. Jimmie Johnson, for those of you who know, announced last year, at November of last year, a couple days after the season ended, that he was going to be retiring at the conclusion of the 2020 season. And previously, a year ago, he had hinted after testing at the F1 car in Abu Dhabi at the Marina circuit, when he and Fernando Alonso swapped cars, when Fernando drove the 48 and Johnson drove Fernando's car, Johnson announced he said he was interested in running some open wheel races. And he did not say he was going to run like the oval races. He said he wanted to run some road course races. It would be very good for the sport if Jimmie Johnson is able to run some of these IndyCar races and sports car races. Because similar to the Donald Trump story, this will get people talking. A driver like Jimmie Johnson, who's probably the most notable driver, not just in NASCAR and not just in the U.S. and motorsports, probably in the world, the most notable other than Lewis Hamilton, Jimmie Johnson would get a lot of bring fans of the sport from the NASCAR side of things. Because there's quite a few people who are NASCAR fans who do not watch IndyCar races. For myself, I am a huge IndyCar fan. I've been watching IndyCar the full seasons usually since the 2017 season. But Jimmie Johnson coming over to IndyCar would be a huge step for IndyCar. Ratings would go up, number one. A lot more talk would come, and the media would come out and check out these races more, especially NASCAR media, because Jimmie Johnson is one of the greatest NASCAR drivers in history and one of the greatest motorsports figures in history. And if Jimmie Johnson gets a really good opportunity with a really good team, he could lead IndyCar to the future. I mean, I know he's not going to run full-time or nothing, but Jimmie Johnson running IndyCar races is going to be a huge thing for the sport, because Jimmie Johnson is a big name. He's one of the best ever. I mean, yeah, he didn't have the greatest personality, but Jimmie Johnson is an undeniably great driver. And I think that he's not only capable of driving NASCARs and sports cars, but I think he would be capable of driving Indy cars, especially on road courses. Jimmie Johnson, I would say, he's not the best road course racer in the world, but I think that he would be able to get up to speed with these cars because of how talented he is, and I think he'd be able to bring a lot to the table, especially for the IndyCar series. And I definitely am hoping and praying that Jimmie Johnson says, yes, I want to go over and run some IndyCar races in 2021. So yeah, pretty cool that Jimmie Johnson is interested in running not only IndyCar races, but sports car races as well. More sports car races. Now to the next story. The Busch Clash TV ratings were released this past week, and there are some good news from the Busch Clash TV ratings. It was up 7% from 2019, which had a 2.5455 million people watching. And last year, it had 2.2294 in 2019, so it's a 7% increase. It is the best ratings for the Clash since they got the Clash on FS1 in 2014. So it's really good there. Because I'll be honest with you, this could be a good thing for the sport that the ratings continue to go up. You know, the ratings in NASCAR have, in my honest opinion, have been down for the sport in the last couple years, except last year. I mean, last year we saw it go flat. Maybe from here on out, the ratings could go up. I mean, yes, I'd hope that we don't see like a huge flop in the NASCAR ratings like we did last year, where we thought that ratings were going to go way up. Instead, what ended up happening was they ended up going down. So yeah, good to hear that on the TV ratings. I think that's really good because the sport needs better ratings. And to hear that going up, especially with cable going down, is a huge step for the sport. Personally, they need to get the TV ratings to count even the streaming services like YouTube TV, Fubo TV, and like NASCAR and .com and Fox Sports Go and NBC Sports, the NBC Sports app. I think that'd be a pretty good thing for NASCAR if they started counting those. Because let me trust me, if you count all that stuff together, the ratings would be going up every year. But because they're not counting that, the ratings going up like this is a major win for NASCAR. And I hope that this is not the only race that goes up. But we'll see what happens throughout the year. Now to the next story. J.J. Yeley is reportedly running the first 3 races with Jimmie Means this upcoming season. I think a lot of people were shocked, to be quite honest with you, shocked with this, because originally David Starr was supposed to drive this car, but unfortunately he's not going to be driving this. Unfortunately, David Starr is no longer going to be driving for Jimmie Means, as he is going over to JD Motorsports. J.J. Yeley, I think, isn't going to do much in his car, but we'll see what he does in the future. Now to the next story. Steve Phelps says NASCAR is not for sale, is not for sale at all, basically. He said the France family is not interested in selling NASCAR at all. Phelps also stated on a Fox and Friends show, I can't remember what the show was called, but he stated that the sport is the France family's legacy, and a merger between ISC, International Speedway Corporation, and the privately owned NASCAR was done for all the right strategic reasons that include significant changes to the schedule and how the sport is marketed. So yeah, hearing that, we'll see what happens, because 2021 could be a really big year. And originally, we thought that this sport was eventually going to be up for sale. But I guess now it's not, since we've had the merger take place, and maybe SMI will merge with NASCAR. Who really knows? But Steve Phelps coming out and stating this, I think is a good thing for the sport. I think Steve Phelps, guys like Steve Phelps, Jim France, Mike Hilton, those guys know what they're doing. The sport has been, really since Brian France left the sport, has been more on an uptrack. And I think Steve Phelps is doing a lot of good things for it. Whether it's positive or negative, he's doing things for the sport. He's trying new things. And I think that's the reason the sport is not for sale. I really thought originally, though, it was for sale, though, because they were buying all the stuff out like ARCA and the merger with ISC, maybe to get the sport in a much healthier state when it comes to how much money they had, how wealthy the sport was, and what their stock was. But I guess now it's not going to be a thing, so pretty cool to hear that. Now to the next story. Brandon Jones is going to honor Bobby Labonte at Daytona this upcoming season. He will drive a 1995 throwback when Bobby Labonte won the 1995 Coca-Cola 600, which was his first career win. I'm going to put this car up on the screen for you guys, and this car looks beautiful. It looks amazing. I'm not as big a fan of Brandon Jones myself, but Brandon Jones is running a really sick throwback. One of the best throwbacks I have ever seen. Good on that. NASCAR and U.S. Census Bureau announced the official partnership. This includes sponsorship of the Xfinity Series Homestead race. So pretty cool to see that U.S. Census Brew is partnering up in NASCAR. I think this is really good for the sport as well. And finally, in the stories, BTS Global Logistics will be sponsoring BJ McLeod at Daytona International Speedway. So yeah, that is some of the news that has come out of NASCAR. I have a few more stories that I missed, and I will cover that in a future video, probably here in the next day or two. So that is all the news I got for you guys today. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment your opinions on this video. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.